to the DefSec 2023 podcast, sponsored by our good friends at Cisco. I'm Alan Dale. With me, as always, my good buddy Jerry Carew. We are Gale Force Winds. Jana Lee with ADGA. We're going to get into you and what the company's all about in a second, but I want to tell you, we've been at a lot of trade shows, a lot of events. You draw the biggest crowd. What's going on? You've got a whole crowd out here in front of us watching what's going on. Jana Lee, tell us a little bit about yourself and what ADGA is all about.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having us, and thank you for the fans for showing up. So I'm Jana Lee Murray. I'm the Vice President of Operations at ADGA. I am very new to the organization. I've been there since May, but what a 4 months it has been. You had the opportunity last year to speak with our president, Sean McEwen, about the journey that ADGA was on as an organization. And we're coming here in numbers this year because that journey over the last 12 months has really propelled forward. ADGA has been in this industry for 57 years, delivering professional services to men and women in uniform. And we're really in a transformational moment as an organization. With the purchase from the commissionaires in a year and a half ago, we've really sort of taken a new step forward as we keep calling it the ADGA 2.0, and I think, next year we'll be sitting here talking about ADGA 3.0, but, the social mandate that we've adopted, that really everything we do goes back to those who serve and have served, I think really differentiates ADGA as an organization in this industry.
Jana Lee, 4 months in, you've still got a fresh pair of eyes on this. What drew you to ADGA? What was it about that company that said, that makes sense to me?
So honestly, that's an easy answer for me. I've been in this industry for 20 years. I started off at Greenlee & Associates, which was one of the first real professional services organizations that was delivering technical professional services into government programs. And when I look at ADGA and I look at where their vision is and what the go-forward strategy is, it was a no-brainer decision to come to an organization like this. I've spent the last 10 years more focused in business development and account management, but my passion is delivery. And when I look at ADGA and what we deliver, it's smart people doing smart things and delivering outcomes and capability where there are gaps in programs. So it's just an amazing organization to be a part of and to be a part of this journey on.
So what are some of the big programs that ADGA are involved in right now?
So we have a number of different focus areas and capability areas. The biggest being delivering professional technical services in software development and program management to large programs. One of our biggest customers has been for a very long time, DLC SPM, so sort of right embedded within the Army customer, delivering that capability and those teams of individuals who are delivering outcomes to the customer. We also have a really strong security arm where we're working with a number of different customers across corrections and what have you. We actually have technical folks embedded in every federal prison across the country, which I think we don't talk about that as much. Sort of people think about ADGA and they think defense, but we have a very, very strong security footprint as well.
Now that connection with the commissionaires, their now ownership of ADGA, how's that all playing out?
So, a lot of people ask that question, why ADGA and why the commissionaires? Yeah. But when you look at the synergies we have as organizations, it's quite complementary. And for ADGA, we had an opportunity, and Sean was a big part of leading that, of sort of where does ADGA want to land and go, and the relationship and the connection with what the commissionaires do and in the security space, but much more importantly, that social mandate, that what they do goes back to those who serve and have served. That's who we want to be as a business. So it's a very interesting model to have a for-profit reporting into a not-for-profit, but what that means is that our profit simply goes back and up into that social mandate. So everything we do is going back to the communities that we're working within, and being in the business for 20 years, being able to see that every single day the work we do, we're delivering to that customer on a day-to-day basis, but that the profit that we make from doing that also goes back. I think it's a pretty noble place to be in the defense industry.
It's incredible, right? I mean, everybody has social mandate built in to their structure and to their companies. Not many have it at the top level.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think it's a real differentiator, and it's something that we as a business really want to talk about. Like, obviously the delivery and the technical programs, like, that's what we do, and that's how we enable ourselves to be able to deliver on that social mandate. But to be able to do both, it's, you almost have, you get both sides of the coin. You're not going back to the street, which is nice.
Diversity, equity, inclusion, there's no doubt that's a big part of ADGA's vision. Talk a little bit about that.
It's interesting in this industry. Again, being a woman in this industry for the last 20 years, there are still huge strides to be taken. Even just looking around DefSec, there's a lot of work that needs to focus on diversity and inclusion. ADGA as a business, that's critically important. We obviously have a big focus through that social mandate to hire veterans, and I think that's a big part of diversity and inclusion as well. And we don't often talk about veterans as part of that, as that arm of the business, but also sort of looking across other populations, be it Indigenous, women, New Canadians, what have you. There's a ton of opportunity in this space. Like, right now, we're in Canada, I think as an industry, there is such a talent shortage. And if you don't change the way in which we are going out and we are recruiting and we are attracting and honestly, most importantly, retaining staff, I think we are all in this industry going to be seriously challenged. And we have to sort of start breaking down some of those boundaries that we've had from a diversity and inclusion perspective. There's a very for a very long time, defense has attracted a certain type of individual, and right now, if we want to continue to grow and continue to diversify, and I honestly think diversity, having that diverse team is what allows you to deliver in bigger and better ways. We got to start doing things differently. So,
yeah, 100%. DefSec, what are you hoping to get out of DefSec?
These shows are just such an awesome opportunity to connect with the industry and with the customer, and to have these types of conversations. Again, ADGA is on just an incredible journey right now, and our strategy is really about making these connections and having these conversations. And one of the things that we're really passionate about as a business is also sort of working with like-minded individuals to try to really change some of the dialogue that's happening in the services space. The word consultant and services has a little bit become a bad word in Canada and with government right now, and trying to change that dialogue. And my colleague Jack, who's standing over there, I'm going to pump him. He's our poster child this week at DefSec. He's going to be doing a talk tomorrow where we're really focused on the topic of capability and outcomes-based services. There's the idea that public service doesn't have enough people, so just putting excuse the language, but a butt into a seat. From our perspective, that is actually not going to get Canada the outcomes that they're looking for. To move to a model where we're looking at outcomes-based programs and capability, not capacity, allow industry to be a partner into these programs. And you asked about DefSec, partners with each other, so that we are bringing together integrated teams, I think is that next dialogue that needs to happen in this industry.
Yeah. Well, you get Jack McDonald on the team, that's going to happen. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt.
ADGA pulls together great talent. Jack is one of those people, but it pulls together great talent to solve these solutions. You guys are on a great path. What did you say your job was again at ADGA?
So I'm the Vice President of Operations, so I'm responsible for all the projects and the programs, and as well as the technical resources and staff that are delivering those programs.
Are you sure you're not the head of communications? Because you clearly articulated the whole company so very well. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to ADGA for doing what you do. It's honorable work. Well done.
I appreciate it very much, and I thank you guys for the opportunity. We want to continue to tell this story. You say I'm a good communicator, it's because I'm truly passionate about what I'm doing. I love this industry. I'm just beyond thrilled to be a part of the ADGA team, and I look forward to having a conversation at DefSec next year. We'll talk about that ADGA 3.0 and sort of the journey that we went on this past year. So thank you guys so much for giving us a few minutes on the stage, and look forward to the next conversation.
Thanks very much.
Awesome.